My name is Yeong Kim, and I'm a faculty member in the Human Development Family Sciences program at the University of Texas at Austin. I have been editor of a journal for about 6 or 7 years at this point. I first edited the journal Cultural Diversity and Ethnic Minority Psychology, which is published by the American Psychological Association. And I am now the current editor of Journal Research on Adolescence, which is a journal of the Society for Research on Adolescence published by Wiley Publishers. So it depends on the journal editor. Some journal editors really take a close look at that cover letter to see if the authors made an effort to show what is unique about their study. But other journals may prefer that, you can have a cover letter, but it could really just be to show something that's special about the handling of that manuscript. So for example, if you are submitting a manuscript as part of a special issue, it may be helpful to note that in the cover letter. But it really depends on the journal editor. Some editors will want to see a cover letter where it details what is unique about your study, and other journal editors are just skimming the cover letter just to see if there is something special about that submission, like being submitted to a special issue. So it depends on the journal. So if it's been 90 days since the submission of the manuscript, it's perfectly fine to follow up with the editorial office, preferably over the editor, but of course you can also follow up with the editor as well. And if it's initial submission and if your journal that you submitted to allows you to check if it's been sent out for peer review, if it's been more than 30 days and you have not gotten a desk rejection letter, if it looks like it's just sitting on the editor's desk, I also recommend sending an email to the editor to ask, it's been more than 30 days since my initial submission. I noticed that there has been no reviewers selected for my manuscript. Can you let me know if it will be submitted for peer review? So my advice related to whether an appeal is going to be worth your time is, most of the time the editor and the associate editor team, they spent quite a bit of time finding journal reviewers to make a decision on your manuscript. So it may be that after spending the amount of time they did with the submission, it's very unlikely they are going to reverse their decision about the manuscript. So I often recommend that authors just go to another journal. There's so many journals out there, because you may just be waiting and waiting for the appeal when it could just be sitting in a new journal submission portal to get your paper published. Honestly, the best way to do it is you can just send an email directly to the editor of the journal saying, you have an interest in being a consulting editor where you can review anywhere between 3 to 5 or even more manuscripts a year. And it's important to say, if you are an author of a manuscript, especially if you're a first author of a manuscript that was published in that journal, that's a really good reason to ask being a consulting editor of that journal. Or if you have, done research that it has been published in similar journals, that would be a good reason. But if you have a first author paper that was recently published in that journal, that would be a great reason to ask, wanting to be a consulting editor and sending an email to the editor requesting to join the consulting editor team. I say it's always a good idea. Many journals like to have special issues because special issues can generate a lot of interest for the journal. And editors are always looking for associate editors. Associate editors are the ones who handle the manuscript once it survives desk rejection by the editor. And they may have a group of 20 or 30 associate editors, and they rotate as time goes on. Typically, an editor term is about 6 years. associate editor terms can be anywhere from 2 to 3 years. And so the associate editors kind of roll off constantly. So editors are looking for new associate editors all the time. So if you are interested in doing a special issue as a guest editor, it's a good way for the editor to kind of check you out to see whether you will be a good associate editor in the future. Say it's a really great idea because as an associate editor, you get honestly a kind of a broader training on how to publish. So when you are trained as an author, a scientist, social scientist, you learn how to do things the way you were taught by your academic advisor or the colleagues you work with. As associate editor, you're going to be handling anywhere from 20 to 30 manuscripts a year or sometimes fewer. And that experience allows you to see the different types of author style, the different ways in which different authors respond to reviewer concerns. And so it's a great way to increase your scholarship and your research by seeing the different ways in which different authors respond to the editorial process and the decision letters and the response letters as being a part of an associate editor. So it's highly recommended.